Hey guys, welcome back to another market review session with us today. And as we do usually, let's just quickly take a look at some currency indices together, and then we'll quickly look at some currency pairs also together. All right, so first off, DXY, which is the US dollar index. My bias is quite straightforward on this. All right, I'll be expecting DXY to grow weaker just a little bit during the course of the week. All right, I'm not necessarily expecting to come this low, all right, but I'm expecting a weaker dollar during the course of the week. All right, on the daily time frame, we've got into our supply zone that we've marked out for quite some time now, and I want to see that little bit of a drop, all right, from there, or that little bit of a drop from there. So this week my bias for DXY would be bearish. All right, so that is clear. Next up, let's quickly look at BXY, which is the Great British Pound Currency Index. And the reverse is the case for me, or my bias for BXY this week would be bullish. I'll be expecting BXY to be bullish. All right, so I'll either be expecting a reaction directly from the zone. All right, I'm already looking at this candle that just formed, and it is looking like that of a rejection. All right, so if I didn't get that happen, I'll be watching out for this imbalance basically. All right, I didn't want to just mark out the full zone. All right, but still, all right, so if this gets broken, then I'll be majorly watching out for this imbalance before I see that push up. All right, but overall my bias for this week on BXY would be bullish. I'll be expecting a stronger pound, all right, in the course of the week. Quickly, let's look at AXY. All right, also, so similar to what we have on BXY, I would also be expecting a stronger Australian dollar AUD. All right, so the Australian dollar currency index, right, I'll be expecting also see some strength, all right, from there during the course of this week. Let me just go down to the 4-hour time frame to show us that a bit better. All right, so we've seen, all right, price come back into this zone, all right, that we've marked out for quite some time now. We're expecting a buy from there. You notice it took price quite a bit of struggle, right, before I could break below this, around this like 64.88 or so. And then when we got to see price finally break it, we got to see that they've just been candles that have been as a result of news releases. All right, so I'll just be expecting AXY to be bullish during the course of the week. All right, a stronger AXY, or a stronger Australian dollar rather. Let's look at CXY also, which is the Canadian dollar currency index, and similar to what we've had for the last few indices that we looked at, I'll be expecting some level of strength. Also, we've got to see price break into this zone. All right, we're going to see price fall into this zone rather, and I'm watching out for that bullish reaction from there. All right, so during the course of the week, I do hope that this zone doesn't get broken. All right, but if it does, then definitely my bias will change for CXY to continue bearish. All right, but for the meantime, my bias on CXY is bullish during the course of the week. All right, so next up, or last but not the least on the list of indices that we look at here is JPY basket. All right, so for JPY basket, all right, I think I explained this during the last market review. All right, we had price being a support here, price being broken, this zone being broken, we had it being a resistance here, resistance 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 places that we've had it being a resistance. All right, I'm going to see price come up into that zone one more time for a touch. We're going to see a beautiful one, okay, an okay rejection candle from there, and now I am expecting price to do this. All right, a sell to buy. All right, so selling in the sense I just expect price to come back down, which is not always the case, but I'll be expecting an ideal situation where price would come back down to clear up the liquidity, all right, from this imbalance here. I'll take up equity from this imbalance and then push towards the upside. So if that happens, then I'll be expecting price to come towards this zone, all right, before I get to see another push towards the downside. All right, so that is clear for JPY basket. So quickly, let's look at some currency indices that we have today. We have quite a lot to look at together. Right, first up is everybody's favorite and probably the most traded still. All right, gold. So for gold, this is for time frame. So for gold, I'll be expecting gold to still continue bullish. All right. I want to watch out for this area. I didn't exactly mark out this zone if you notice. All right. So I think let me just go down to the 2-hour time frame or the 1-hour time frame to show us what exactly I am looking at. All right, let's just use this. All right, so if I get to see price break below this support, this around 2317.74, then I'm watching out for price to continue bearish, all right, to continue going towards the downside. All right, so this, let's just say the zone between this is around, give me a minute please, the zone between 2338.12 and 2317.74. I'm watching out for buys from that zone. If I get to see price break below then then definitely I would change my bias to a bit more bearish. But I was just looking at for this week at least, I'll be looking at gold continuing bullish. So after it's clear for gold. Next up, let's look at USD card. Let me go probably back up to the 4-hour time frame to show us what we have on USD card. For USD card, I'll be expecting USD card to be bearish. I'll be expecting USD card to fall. So give me a minute. I think my internet, okay, yes, it's back now. So I'll be expecting USD card to be bullish or to be bearish rather. We've had price coming to our supply zone that we've marked out for quite some time also now, and I'll be expecting USD card to be bearish during the course of this week. So all this being said, this will only hold if these zones hold. So if I see these zones failing, as it were, I see price breaking above the zones or below the zones, as the case would be, I'm watching out for more confirmations or more indications on the chart before I take my next course of action. So preferably before taking any of these trades, make sure you have your confirmation. Look for our advice, as I usually say, look for lower time frame confirmations before taking these trades. Look for lower time frame confirmations. So next up, let's go to GBP JPY. So for GBP JPY, during the course of this week, exactly what you can see, I'm expecting a buy to sell. So as you would know, I usually look at price from an idealistic approach. So all things being equal, I would expect price to just come up a bit, tap into this sweep liquidity rather from the imbalance before I get to see price falling from there. Now if you look at this was a low here, this was a high, we got to see price make this. This is now a low. And then we got to see price making a high that was lower than this previous high. So I just want to watch out for the possibility of price still pushing down to make a new lower low. So I'm just watchful for that. But for the meantime, my bias for GBP would be a buy to sell. So I hope that is clear. Quickly, next up, let's look at GBP USD. I think for GBP USD, Euro USD, NZD USD, AUD USD also, I'm not really sure. I took sales that were similar to this. From here, it was just a simple break and retest of a zone, but we get to see price break below the zone, price come back into the zone for a retest, and I just took sales of that. So for this week, however, I'll be expecting GBP USD to be bullish. I'll be expecting a bullish reaction from GBP USD. As you can see here, we have a pivot zone marked out here, and I'll be expecting price to just push either exactly from that zone. And if you remember what I was mentioning for DX, there is a possibility of price still pushing deeper into this imbalance. Let me just quickly mark that out because I feel like you might not be able to see that. So let me just try my best to zoom into that. Around this area, if you can see it here. So I'll just be expecting one of those two. Even though I'm expecting that bullish reaction, I'm watching out for where that bullish reaction will occur from. So that is clear also for GBP USD. So I'm bullish on GBP USD as it were. USD CHF. So USD CHF, my bias is a reverse. I'm expecting a bearish reaction on USD CHF. Now if you look closely, we're actually going to see price which makes a break above this zone. A very, very wide zone, but we're going to see price break above the zone. Now what I'm expecting is a bearish reaction. So what I'll just watching out for, as I usually say, is a lower time frame confirmation before entering any of these trades. So I'm watching out for the possibility it might not be, the sales might not be this far, so please let me not. So the sale might just be something that might come up to this area, so let me just put that there. I'm not exactly giving us points that price should sell, so I'm just giving us the direction. Then based on your analysis or based on your criteria, you can take a trade based on your risk to reward ratio, however you want to take it off. So I'll be expecting a sell on USD CHF during the course of this week. So it's one of the things, either we get to see that sell happen immediately market opens, or we get to see price push up a little bit into this area. So I marked out a resistance which is around 0.91710. So I'm watching out for that point. For the possibility of price pushing, pushing to that point and then getting slapped towards the downside. If I get to see price break above there, then definitely you would know, or you should assume that your bias should change. So my bias too will change if I can see price breaking above there. So I hope that's clear for USD CHF. Next up, let's look at AUD USD. AUD USD. So similar to what I said for, I think GBP USD, I've already forgotten now. All right, I'll just be expecting a buy to sell. All right, a short buy to sell on AUD USD. So I'm expecting that buy to not last for long necessarily. All right, so idealistically, I just expect the buy to happen. All right, price to come back, clear liquidity from there, come back down into this. So this is a demand zone I've been watching for quite some time, and it should be my preferred zone to take up buys from, or to take up proper buys as it were from. All right, so that's my bias on AUD USD. All right, so next up, let's quickly go into another fan favorite, Euro USD, which is similar to what we have on AUD USD and GBP USD. I'm expecting bullishness, all right, from Euro USD during the course of the week. All right, let me just, yes, so preferably I'll be watching out for price to come to here. This is my preferred zone for a buy. All right, this is around 1.05781 and 1.05154. That is my preferred zone for a buy. However, using correlation and just looking at what the possibilities that might happen during the course of the week, it is very likely that as soon as market opens, we get to see a buy. So I would watch out for a buy as soon as market opens. I'll just look out for a lower time frame confirmation. Whatever your confirmation is, I'll just watch out for a confirmation to enter that buy. All right, if I get to see maybe a breakout, whatever it is anyway, I'll just watch out for a lower time frame confirmation to enter that buy as soon as market opens. However, if I see that price still keeps going low and I don't get to see my confirmations, then I'll wait for price to get into the zone before jumping into any trade. All right, so I hope that is clear for Euro USD. Next up, quickly, let's look at NZD USD. NZD USD. After NZD USD, we'll be looking at just 5 more commodities, and then we'll be calling it a night. All right, so next up, let's look at NZD USD, and I think I don't need to say much. Basically, as I've said for other pairs like EzFx against USD, all right, I'm expecting this to buy also. I'm expecting a buy, all right, on NZD USD in the course of the week. All right, so there's a possibility for us to get to see price drop a bit more into the zone. All right, but overall, my bias is a buy on NZD USD. All right, so that is clear. That is clear. Next up, let's look at AUD NZD, which is one of my favorites, I guess. I think I like AUD pairs. Right, so for AUD and NZD, I'll be expecting AUD and NZD to be bullish also, all right, but so be bullish just into this zone, all right. So I'm expecting also have that bullish reaction to push. Sorry, give me a minute. I think my internet is particularly slow this evening. Wonderful. All right, so I'm expecting your AUD and NZD rather to just buy or price to come up into the zone. This is around 1.10161 and 1.09749. So I'll be expecting that buy to happen into that zone before we get to see a probability of a sell. All right, so that'll be my bias for AUD and NZD. All right, so for me, however, if I get to see price probably break below this low, let me quickly mark that out, probably somewhere around here, then definitely I'll be changing my bias. This is around 1.08423, so I'll be changing my bias if that low gets broken. All right, so that is clear for AUD and NZD. Let's look at what we have on AUD card. So for AUD card, I'll be expecting basically what you can see is just a short buy to sell, or a buy to sell, however you want to call it. All right, so again, an idealistic approach would be for us to get to see price come up, all right, take out the liquidity from the imbalance, then we get to see price get slapped down for a sell. All right, so but that would be my bias basically on AUD card. I think I gave this during the last market review. I was expecting a sell from here. We're going to see that sell happen quite well, and I'm expecting that sell to just happen. Now, I'm not expecting the sell to necessarily be long. That's why I just put it towards this area. So something not too long, but something towards this end. Let's just say around, let me just mark it out. Let's just say around this like 0.88403 or so. Right, so that would be like where I'll be watching out for the sell to last too. All right, so next up, let's quickly move on. Let's look at NZD card. I think this week I'm watching out for a lot of AUD pairs, a lot of NZD pairs. All right, so for NZD card, what I want to say here right now is not necessarily something I'll be watching out for this week. All right, but I mean, if you get to see price moving that line, sure, why not? For NZD card, I want to watch out for the possibility of price still making its rounds towards this zone. Let me just give us the coordinates for the zone. This is 0.83169 and between 0.83169 rather and 0.82805. Alright, so I want to watch out for the possibility of NZD card coming into that zone before we get to see a sell. All right, so I'm not giving this as something that might happen this week. All right, I'm just giving it as a bias that you might just have down, write it down somewhere, just keep it down, all right, to use in your arsenal whenever that time comes. All right, so so next up, let's look at ADCHF. Now for this pair, I would like to really explain what I have on this chart, because as you can see here on my chart, I'm saying you can also buy, you can also sell. All right, so I'll give us the conditions, all right, for which this analysis would hold. All right, so that's what I'll just do. So for ADCHF, I'm expecting a buy as soon as market opens, basically. All right, so I'm expecting that price will just push up a bit. Now it's one of two things: either we get to price push up a bit into this zone, clear liquidity, or probably react from one of these other blocks around here, and then we get to see price push down towards the downside. So we've gotten to see price break below this low here. And do you even notice here we didn't get to, sorry, give me a minute. Yes. So if you notice, we didn't actually get to see price make a new high necessarily. All right, from here we got to see price come back here, come back to basically an equal high or a relatively equal high, and then we got to see price come down. So either we get to see that buy happen straight up and just get to see it continue towards the upside, or we get to see that short buy clear liquidity from the imbalance and then come down using the imbalance as its zone, its supply zone. All right, so I'm just watching out for any of these. If I'm going to take an impulse, quote unquote impulsive trade, all right, on this, I'll just probably take a short scalp 1:2 buy and I'll leave. All right, now this is not financial advice, all right, but that's what I'll be watching out for, so to speak. All right, so quickly so that we can end tonight's market review, let's just look at the last pair, which is AUD/JPY. And for AUD/JPY, my bias is quite straightforward. I'll be expecting a buy on AUD/JPY, a buy on AUD/JPY. So I might not necessarily hold this, something similar to what I said for AUD/CHF. I might not hold this for long, all right. I might just watch out for price to clear liquidity, and then I'll just leave the trade. All right, I'll just pull out of the trade. If I get to see price break above this high, then I'll be looking out for, I'll just be watching out for re-entries in that wise to continue the buy. All right, there's, again, as I said, for AUD/CHF, there's a possibility of the imbalance or the FVG or whatever you want to call it, inefficiency, being a supply zone or acting as a supply zone, and you get to see sell-off. All right, but till then, I'll be watching out for my confirmations. All right, so thank you very much for joining us for tonight's market review. I'm sure you have been able to gain value. Please do also like, share, and subscribe. All right, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And again, I'm very sure we're going to have a very, very profitable week. Take care, guys. Bye.